Namaskar and welcome. Have you ever just stopped and looked around at the world, at the way our society is set up, and wondered, is this really the best we can do? What if the very systems we live by, the things we just accept as normal, aren't the solutions at all, but actually symptoms of a much deeper problem? Well, today we're diving into a text that doesn't just ask those questions, it offers a radical blueprint for a whole new world. And it starts with this powerful claim, framing our modern way of life not just as flawed, but as a kind of sickness, a psychic ailment. So where do you even begin with something that big? Well, like with any cure, you've got to start with a proper diagnosis, right? The source material does just that, by first identifying what it sees as the core illnesses plaguing our global society.
And this is where things get, well, pretty intense. The text completely reframes some of our most sacred institutions. Get this, capitalism isn't just an economic model, it's a psychic ailment, this endless, unquenchable desire for stuff that is, by its very nature, limited. Nationalism? That's seen as an illness that narrows the mind. And democracy? It's called a counterfeit bronze coin, something that looks valuable on the surface but can actually hide deep exploitation.
Okay, so what's the core conflict here? It all boils down to one thing: motivation. The source argues that under capitalism, the entire engine of production is fueled by the desire for profit. But in the alternative it lays out, called Prout, that engine runs on a completely different fuel. The goal isn't profit, it's consumption for all. It's a massive shift from just accumulating wealth to actually meeting human needs.
All right, so if those are the problems, what on earth is the solution? This is where the source introduces its alternative, a philosophy called the progressive utilization theory, or Prout for short.
And here's the thing, Prout isn't just another political ism to throw on the pile. It's described as something way deeper, a form of bodhijnana. Now what is that? It's this idea of building a bridge between our deep, inner intuition and our practical, logical intellect. The whole point is to take that inner wisdom and use it to solve the very real, messy, mundane problems we face every day.
So, with that big philosophical idea in mind, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The text lays out some really specific remedies for society's problems. We're talking about a complete overhaul of our economic and social order. And this is just a brilliant concept. It really gets to the heart of their economic thinking. The main goal is not for the state to just hand out goods to everybody. Instead, the view of Prout is that every single person should be guaranteed enough purchasing power to get what they need. This is about empowering people, not just providing for them. So you're probably wondering, how do you actually do that? Well, the text lays out a three-step plan. First, you implement the cooperative system on a massive scale. Second, you socialize things like land and industry. And third, to make sure the whole thing works, you put the really big, key industries under government management. This prevents them from overwhelming the smaller cooperative businesses.
But look, fixing the economy is just one piece of the puzzle. The text pushes further, asking a much bigger question. What's the end game here? What is the ultimate vision for all of humanity?
And the answer it gives? Universalism. This is presented as the only true cure-all or panacea for all of society's problems, both the worldly ones and the spiritual ones. It's a philosophy that goes beyond any loyalty to a single group or party or nation. The text is clear. To be a Proutist is to be a universalist.
Okay, now we're getting to the absolute core of it all, the blueprint. These are the 5 fundamental principles that the entire Proutist system is built on. Think of them as the operating system for this new society. All right, principle number 1. And the first one, wow, it goes right for the jugular of capitalism. It says, no individual should be allowed to just pile up physical wealth without the clear permission of the community, of the collective body. The idea here is to put the well-being of the group ahead of unlimited personal gain. It's a fundamental check on runaway economic power.
Next up, principle number 2.
So the second principle kind of zooms out. It says there should be maximum use and fair distribution of everything the universe has to offer, all its potentials. It basically frames our world and everything in it as a common patrimony, like a shared inheritance that belongs to all of us, and must be used fully and fairly for everyone's benefit.
Okay, principle number 3.
So, from the whole universe, the third principle brings it right back home, right back to us. It applies that exact same logic of maximum utilization to our own human potential. Society's job, then, is to help every single person develop all of their talents, physical, mental, and spiritual, to the absolute fullest.
And on to the fourth principle. But just maximizing everything isn't the whole story. The fourth principle is all about balance. There has to be a proper adjustment between all these different kinds of potential. It's about harmony. For example, you wouldn't waste someone's incredible mind on a task that's purely physical, right? It's about putting everything in its right place.
And finally, the fifth principle. This last one is maybe the most crucial, because it's what keeps the whole system alive and breathing. It says that all of these methods have to change and adapt based on the time, the place, and the people involved. This means Prout isn't some rigid, unchanging dogma. It's designed to be a living, evolving, progressive philosophy.
So, you take the diagnosis, you take the cure, and you add these 5 principles, and what do you get? You don't just get another theory. You get this comprehensive and honestly incredibly optimistic vision for the entire future of humanity.
And the text concludes with this unbelievably powerful and hopeful image. It sees this new path not as some difficult, gritty struggle, but as something beautiful and inevitable, like a sunrise. It leaves us with this incredible sense of purpose and this conviction that a better world isn't just a dream, it's an absolute certainty. As it says, victory will be ours. If this exploration sparked something in you, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video for more explainers just like this one.